Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Lyon with the Film Prize, and today we have our interview with filmmaker Josh Munns, the director of Peeping Todd. Josh, welcome to the Film Prize interview process.
Uh, Thanks, Chris. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. So, why don't we talk a little bit about Peeping Todd coming up here at the Film Prize, screening October 20th through the 22nd. Tell us a little bit about Peeping Todd. What is it about, and then how did you come up with the idea?
So, not to give too much away. So, Peeping Todd is about a gentleman named Todd. To start off the bat, his name is Todd. And what is he doing? He's peeping. That's that's what he's doing. Yep, he's got his peepers on. From there, things kind of go not as planned for him, and he tries to set the night back to what he wanted. That's about what I'll give, and the rest is a surprise, Chris.
Well, a surprise it will be for all of our audience members when they come to see Peeping Todd at Film Prize. But I wondered if you might talk a little bit about how you came up with this idea. And you have such a great cast. How did you come up with who is going to be in this project?
So we were on a car ride back from ghost hunting with our friends, the Rourkes. I think that's their last name. That's how you pronounce it, right? The Rourkes. They're in top 20 as well. We went ghost hunting as a couple, and Chris came along, Chris Evans. And on the way back, me, Melissa, and Chris were like, what if we made a movie about something, the weirdest thing we could think of? And we started rattling, the idea started spiraling. And then a couple weeks later, I was working on the script, and I presented it to Chris and Melissa, and I was like, by the way, I wrote this. Let's see how it goes. And they're like, you really want to do this? This is where you want to go? And Chris was like, I'll go with you, bro. I'll do it. I'll play the creeping, peeping Todd. And so that's how it came to be.
That's fantastic. And he's not the only hilarious person in the movie, Chris Evans. Who else is on the show?
So everyone really came together and did their roles perfectly, from Donovan Rowe to Jay Watley. Let's see, am I forgetting anyone? I think that's Paul Peterson, Emily Farr. Everyone came together, and especially Paul Peterson and Emily Farr, really, like, for the little screen time they have, they killed it. I love their scenes together.
Absolutely. And then I'll keep the spoilers out of it, but the whole cast is just really funny, and they really hold it all together.
Oh yeah.
Of course, you are no stranger to the Film Prize, but this film, I think, is something new for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering what your expectations are for the audience when they walk into the theater and see your film for the first time.
That was a conversation me, Chris, Melissa had, was the shock value of what is the response from the audience, being that once the first thing that happens, and I think, once the first thing happens, it's very unexpected. You're kind of like, wait, is this for real? Like, they're really going to do this? So when that first moment happens, which is like 15 seconds into the movie, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is what we're doing. And I can't wait to hear people's reactions, whether it be a gasp, like, what are you doing? How dare you? Or, something more pleasant.
No, it 100% caught me off guard the first time it rolled across my screen. In fact, interestingly enough, just at random, after all the rough cuts were turned in, Peeping Todd was the first film that I opened. And I thought to myself, oh my, what a year we're about to have. So,
Wow.
but it's gonna be really great. I'm glad that you got into the top 20. I'm glad that Film Prize is coming up. Why don't you kind of tell us what your plans are for Film Prize? How are you going to be spending your time, and how will people be able to kind of find you at the festival?
Oh my gosh. So it's one of my favorite events that we have here in Shreveport. So once the day starts, once you open the floodgates and shut the streets down, I'm there. I'm ready. I got a drink in hand, and I'm roaming through the streets, and I'll find you. If you want to find me, I'll find you first. That's how it works. So if you're coming out of a theater, there'll be booths around. I'll be floating around. If you want to see me, I'll wear this same shirt if that helps. The checkered boards shirt. There you go. You'll find me in the streets. That's not a threat.
We're gonna hold you to that. I'm taking a screenshot right now. And I'm gonna bring it to
I'll
you in
wear
the
it.
street. You better. Um, so I know that you have a talented crew of people that you worked with. Of course, we've talked about the people that are on screen. Let's talk about the people that were behind the scenes that helped you make this happen. I know you've obviously you've talked about Melissa, who's
Yeah.
been working with you on your projects for a long time. But who else was a part of the show?
This the biggest thing is that this is the first project that I have worked with Paul Peterson and Alexander Jeffrey, and they brought a whole new level to the production. And this is something that I've always wanted to do, was to work with them, because like every time you think of filming here in Shreveport, you think of them because they've always been doing it. And so once we were able to link up and finally do it with this project, I cannot stress enough how this one came together so perfectly with the weird stuff that I wanted to make and Alexander Jeffrey, and it just meshed to this beautiful monstrosity.
Well, I'm sure that the work will show on screen. Again, trying to keep that spoiler out of my mouth. But I think the thing is that it's a well produced project with such a really wonderful spin on it that I hope that audiences enjoy as much as I did when I saw it for the first time. Last question. Of course, this year we are back up to a $50,000 cash grand prize for those films that shot in Caddo Parish. You were one of those films. What do you do with that $50,000 if you were to win it?
Oh my gosh, we're in Louisiana, we're in Shreveport. Let's just throw all 50K on red and see where it lands. Let's go gamble it. Me and you, Chris.
Hey, Sunday, if your name is the one called, I'll meet you at
Let's do it. Same day.
That's right. Awesome. Okay, guys. Thanks so much, Josh, for being a part of today's interview, and thanks for making a film for the Film Prize. The very best of luck to you and your team on winning.
Thank you, Chris.
And we're going to leave with a favorite of ours,
yeah.
which is the big Viva La Film Prize. We're going to do it together. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Viva La Film Prize!
All right. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the next interview.